A different approach to helping Americans living on the streets find homes. For decades, in Los Angeles has struggled to confront its homeless crisis, but a new transitional housing project has the mayor hailing the program as the city's best hope for change.
A group of several dozen residents gathered to protest that idea, saying the project would only invite more homeless people to their town and create additional problems.
Talking about that her children were in danger. How are her children in danger from homeless people?
It's not just shelter. Shelter is not the solution. We got to be everything.
So I think we all have the same objective in mind, which is to get people off of the street. I think it's just people will have different ideas about how to do that, how to help these people. So I don't think it's so much that there's a group that doesn't want to help those that are unhoused. It's that there's a group that has a different idea of how to help people who are unhoused.
Because while these politicians can kind of like say whatever they want at city council meetings and talk about what they think the homeless want, they're not the ones who are going out there every other week and talking to these houseless people, asking them their thoughts on the tiny shelter project.
Most unhoused people are actually victims of crimes rather than perpetrators of crime. Actually, in LA, 5 unhoused residents die a day. People need housing, they need their basic needs met, they need supportive wraparound services, and it's actually more dangerous when folks don't have their basic needs met.
Always we've had a homeless issue, if you will. It's definitely gotten bigger over the years, and especially more recently, and we're dealing with a lot more calls for service. And we've noticed recently that we're getting more and more people that do have drug problems and that do have alcohol problems and that do commit crimes. And we know that we can't arrest our way out of this situation. But we also know that if criminal activity is happening, we have to take action. We have to protect our residents and our community and our business owners. So more and more times we are seeing people with these issues. We're experiencing it a lot more these days.
Whether it be, like I said, helping out, enforcing people that, are committing crimes, providing anybody with assistance that they need. It's, like I said, there's a variety of ways we handle situations. Because, we're police officers. I call ourselves, we're like multi-tools, There's a variety of ways we do things.
I don't know where the end is anymore. I saw it end at one time. I thought it was gonna be okay, that it was gonna be different. Finally, I've been on the streets now for over 3 years with my wife. Over 3 years. And I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. And I'm wore down mentally, I'm wore down physically. I'm getting old, and it's hard just rolling over on these rocks and stuff and trying to get up in the morning, That in itself is an accomplishment, just trying to get up. Can't even say getting up out of bed because we don't have a bed, but we lay on the ground with a blanket.
It's not the lazy life I think that everybody thinks it is. I'm not homeless by choice or because I love camping so much, which I did. I worked in a career for 25 years, and all I could think about doing was trying to get out, fish, and camp, being in the outdoors. But once you have to do it, it's a little different.
Oh, it's hard, especially the cold. I guess one of the hardest part is the cold. So, let's say November, December. I think February is the coldest month. So even though I'm in my car, I put about 10 layers of clothes, 7 layers here, 3 scarves, beanie, keep warm, sometimes put a heater on. That's one of the hardest parts in the cold.
It's like you have a different spirit, like when you're out here, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just kind of magical, in its own way. After a while, the feeling of just, being outside, just being wild and free, it gets really exciting sometimes, and joyful, just being free,
If you're spending most of your time concerned about safety, concerned about the weather, concerned about, whether the police are going to tell you need to leave from, and lose your possessions. Those are all just constant stressors. And we know constant stress, is not good for one's mental health.
I wander around. I actually have to beg for change. It's not fair. I beg for change so I can eat every day, but they bring food here. I'm gonna make sure we're gonna clean it up. Don't worry. We clean it up every day.
Okay.
I've always had an open door here. When I see somebody across the street or somebody sleeping in the front, I ask them, hey, you need anything? That's the only thing I ask, do you need anything? I feel like it's a tool for me to interact with people.
Fellow Arcadians, Apaches, if you see us on the streets, say hello, man. We don't bite. I'm not gonna cuss you out because you say hello. Little do you know, I'm gonna say hello back with a smile. Not out here to harm nobody, not out here to face anything. If I had it my way, I wouldn't be out here. I'm not here because I want to be here, Somebody out there, help a fellow Arcadian. Help me find a job, help me do something, help me get off the street, help me something.
So basically, this is almost 2 months old, so basically there was probably a camp set up here, and we let them know, hey, this property's here, you have 72 hours to move it, and this is mid-February, but we give them 3 days, and most of the time they get all their stuff and they move it.
Police came, said we had to move, we have 72 hours, whatever we leave behind they're gonna take.
What we do is we go out and offer services and resources to the homeless. Now, if a person who's experiencing homelessness is engaged in a criminal activity, then we'll enforce that. But we don't engage in an actual sweep.
No resources or nothing, pretty much still the same thing. They keep telling us we can't stay somewhere, we gotta sleep. It's natural to sleep, you have to sleep.
That people like to talk about a sweep. Now, the city of Arcadia does have an ordinance that says that there are certain areas in town where you can't camp or sleep overnight, but there's other areas where we have to offer places for people to sleep because we don't have a shelter here in town or nearby to take somebody to. So we don't do sweeps per se.
Yeah. I have a relationship with a couple of officers where they kind of know that I'm not a bad guy, but I am because I'm homeless, I'm going to get in an abandoned building if I can, It's the only place I can change the locks on and be able to lock my stuff so I can go to work or get anything done. So not even trying to be criminal or anything, I still have to do criminal activities, to be able to do any good, I have to do something bad, it seems like.
We always tell people, you don't want to attract more coyote. Do not feed them. The more you feed the coyote, the more come in. You do not feed the peacock. Because we have peacock problem in the village, right? The more you feed the peacock, the more you're gonna have it. So why? Because they know there's food, there's shelter, there's help, there's benefit. So they will come to Arcadia because you have this tiny shelter, all right? So you have to know why, what they're doing. So I'm not saying that homeless people is just like animal, but even coyote know that, peacocks know that. How about homeless people? They know that too. All of them have cell phone, right? Don't you think they have a network of people on their cell phone? They can call each other, hey, Arcadia is good, come on by here.
I taught mayors and all type of top officials, and I never had any problems being around people. My drill wasn't as messed up as it is now, but I'm just not used to being seen as a villain or a bad person, and it's kind of hard. And you got people looks like they're mad at you all the time, I personally haven't done anything to anybody, so.
There's no study or research that has shown that tiny homes attract more unhoused. If you look at all the areas that have put in tiny homes or any shelter, there's not a congregation or an attraction factor to that.
I draw an analogy to a hospital. If you build the hospital, people will come, but that's not a bad thing, that's a great thing. So I think it would be great to have the best facility ever so people knew they could come to Arcadia if they were suffering. I mean, we could be really proud of that.
While we do understand some of their concerns about the actual solution itself, there is like a percentage of the people who are just opposed to the idea of helping the homeless at all, which is obviously not practical and obviously not empathetic, especially when we consider that there are not a lot of options in Arcadia for the houseless and for them to go. And most of the time, we focus on pushing them out of the city and kind of vacating them rather than providing the proper and the necessary resources.
How do we have 125 people, unhoused people here in Arcadia already without shelter to then try to argue, but somehow shelter is going to attract the unhoused? That's not the attraction.
Those who support tiny homes, talk about compassion, caring. Why don't you guys, take in a homeless in your house?
I'm sure people are doing that already. And they're using it like a punishment and as if like, yeah, you do this horrific thing, or you be the victim of this horrifying thing, and it's really not.
It's really not a fight to me about people who are pro tiny home and who are against tiny home. I think the fight and the anger needs to be directed at the people that have been taking our money for a very long time, and they've been making a lot of promises, and they have given us no results.
And if all of you work for me, you'll be fired. Because people who come and work for me, they give me different solutions, okay? They don't just give me one every day.
Where is all the job training that you're proposing for these people to get back on their feet? I don't hear any of it. It's just tiny homes, tiny homes, tiny homes. Really, seriously, you only have one alternative?
You have failed us. I respect you guys, want to be public servants. You serve us. Some of you don't get paid, right? I respect that.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
Okay.
And so I had a good job, but it had 4-story buildings, all those condo complexes with 4 stories. And I'd get up there working on air conditioning things, and I kept thinking about that one step, taking that one step. But my mom did well. She raised me as a Christian. I couldn't bring myself to do it. In my religion, it's a sin to kill yourself. It's actually looked at as doing more bad things to other people, making them have to deal with you often yourself. So I was able to talk myself out of it, but not before I got too damn close, not before I got too close. But I don't have those thoughts anymore. Like I say, overall, my life is better now. I'm happier, more relaxed, more at peace. That rat race was stressing me out,
Yeah, I went to Arcadia High School. I mean, I went to Arcadia continuation. I went to Arcadia Adult Ed because I was working. I got a job, a full-time job, and I was working and going to school at the same time, and they felt that it'd be better if I went to the adult ed and then go for my GED or finish out like that. And I made it up to halfway through my 12th grade here in Arcadia.
I really like Arcadia, and I wish they had like low income living or like some sort of something for like people like they could afford it,
I've lived in Arcadia for a lot of years. I help pay the taxes, I buy all their stores and stuff like that. I buy my things here in Arcadia, and so I may not have as much money as some of these people up the hill or around here or whatever, but that's just the way it is.
Getting the dance business was a big change for me, and somewhere in that transition, I decided that I could be a rock star, you know. I could be a player. And I probably acted like a player and might have dressed and had a car like a player, but you can't get away from who you are, man. Now, I wouldn't want to be anything else. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ruined a lot of people's lives in the process of figuring it out. And that's the part that's the worst, you know.
If you got some work to do that you want done and you don't want to do it yourself, feel free to give me a call. My name is Richard Allen, and my phone number is 626-413-2310. Give me a call. I do all kinds of work, and I do good work. Help me get off the street. Help me and my wife get off the street. That's what we want. Thank you.
Y'all are invited and welcome to come to church here in the park. Very relaxed. Most of the people are homeless, not all. Some people come and bring food.
Coming out on Sundays, and being in the park and making kits, and then like talking with neighbors and meeting with them and then just asking them like how things have been going and just getting updates. I think it's a real like community bonding.
I have an event every Monday afternoon from 3 to 5 at the northwest corner of Arcadia County Park, and that's sort of a hub for some unhoused people. So we always have a good conversation with them. I check in, and I want to really invite anyone who's interested in building bridges with the unhoused community. They're really nice people that come out there. We have free bagels. Actually, Einstein Bagels, I'm going to put a plug in because they give us all their leftover bagels, and so we have a nice time with free food. And I want to invite you all to come and have good conversations.